At the end of the 7 Years' War, it was in her best interest to keep an alliance between the French and the Austrians, and in the 18th century, the best way to forge an alliance was through marriage. 2 years after the war ended, when Antoinette was but 10 years old, her mother pegged the 11-year-old heir to the French crown as her best bet for a son-in-law. The necessary arrangements were made, and at the age of only 14, Antoinette was married off into foreign royalty to Louis Auguste de Bourbon.
Now, one of the interesting things with three-phase power is that you can connect all three phases and power large industrial equipment, or you can also connect to only one of the phases and also power small electrical goods. This is generally how large tower blocks and skyscrapers distribute electricity through the building. The lift motors and air conditioning pumps, etc. will need three-phase power, but the computers and office equipment will need single-phase power. So they distribute three-phase power up the building and then draw off from this as needed.
It was a Saturday morning when the 20,000-pound monster of wood, metal, and fabric thundered through the sky toward Horta Bay. Lieutenant Commander Albert C. Reed and the NC-4 had made it to the Azores. During the 1,300-mile flight, the Navy had...
Joan was captured whilst attempting to defeat the English, and was sold to the English government by the Duke of Burgundy. She was put on trial for heresy in 1431, and was found guilty and sentenced to death. She was burned at the stake, then her ashes were cast into the River Seine. She was just 19. She was retrialed posthumously in 1456, and found not guilty, and was made a saint by Pope Benedict XV in 1920.
The first official Academy Awards ceremony took place during a banquet held at Hollywood's Roosevelt Hotel on May 16, 1929. This was by no means the type of Oscar ceremony we see today. Less than 300 people were on hand. Each paid a whopping $5 for a ticket to the dinner. In 1927 and 1928, a total of 15 Oscar statuettes were handed out to winners in various categories. Actor Emil Jannings was the Academy's first ever Best Actor winner.
Light blare, there is a red dot. The red dot is a laser which stays collimated. So let me just look myself how visible it is. You see the red dot? Yeah. Okay, that's it. So
there was a one-party system, and Tito was the president of both the party and the country. He suppressed religion and nationalism by deleting wartime memories. If you were okay with this, you'd love the guy. A job was waiting for you, as well as a cheap flat and a big lollipop. Tito changed the constitution so that he could become president for life. The new constitution, however, allowed more power to the republics, and that eventually paved the way for the Yugoslav.
The addiction has even been compared to heroin, but heroin and nicotine affect the brain's pleasure center in completely different ways. So when scientists found a portion of the brain's pleasure center responding to both nicotine and a heroin-like drug in the same way, the results were unexpected.
We were a little surprised to see an effect that was so similar between these two different classes of drugs.
Neuroscientist Dan McGee and his team monitored rat brain cells' response to both drugs.